I wanna go to Nara and pet the deer. I wanna go to Nara and pet the deer. I wanna go to Nara and pet those deer. You know, when I was in Japan, I went to Nara, and I got this. It's a deer. This is kind of like the mascot of Nara. It's this really cute little deer, and this is a puppet. Maybe this could be like my co-host. Hey, little Sheikah deer.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
This isn't funny.
Yeah, I know, you're right. But despite that not being funny, welcome to Weeaboo Wednesday. Weeaboo Wednesday is just me taking a bunch of stories I found online about anime and video games and Japan stuff, compressing it down into a very simple video, and telling you guys about it. So yeah, if you like that, like the video, subscribe to the channel because I make them every week. Let's get into this. You know Promare, otherwise known as Promare if you don't know how to pronounce it right, or Promare? Well, they're going to be making Christmas cakes of it. I'm not sure if you know this, but around Christmas time, it's a very popular thing to get a cake for your family to enjoy on Christmas. There's commercials, there's all kinds of advertisements for it. When I was in Japan in October, they had ads for Christmas cakes because you need to get them that far in advance sometimes. But it would seem that a company called Pre-Roll is going to be releasing different designed Promare cakes, which are actually all pretty cool looking. They're gonna cost something like 4,800 yen, so close to like $45 basically. And yeah, you'll be able to get cakes with multiple different characters from Promare on them. I guess that just goes to show how popular it got over there, and it's actually really growing in America now, so good for them. Promare was awesome. I'll take that cake with Gallo on it, thank you very much. Oh goodness, this one just makes my cold heart so warm. It would seem that the Akira movie is now once again indefinitely canceled. Well, maybe not. There's been a lot of rumor flying around as to whether or not it's actually canceled or if it's just delayed right now, but basically Warner Brothers took it off of its release schedule. They were supposed to start production of it this fall, and it was supposed to come out in May of 2021, but it would seem that Warner Brothers removed it from the release schedule, and a lot of people are speculating that it's been delayed indefinitely or canceled, but some people say there were maybe creative differences. Either way, I'm glad to see it gone again, though who knows, it will likely rear its ugly head yet again. But for now, we can praise the fact that it's gone. So, with the Game Awards having just passed, a couple different things have happened. One such thing being they revealed the new Xbox. Originally it was called Xbox Scarlet, which is a stupid name, but now they're calling it the Xbox Series X? Yeah, that's probably not a very good name either, because now you're just calling it an Xbox and adding some additional words that really don't mean anything. Series X to me would imply that it's the 10th Xbox possibly, or the 10th series of Xbox, which of course is not the case. Either way, it's going to be coming out in the holiday of 2020, so next year around this time, and it's going to launch with Halo Infinite. But we all know that the next systems are not going to be worth buying for at least 2 years after they've been released, such as these ones, because I didn't have an Xbox One for years and I was just fine. And honestly, I don't even play my consoles except for my Switch, so what does that say about me? Another weird thing though is that they showed what it's going to look like, and the form factor is really weird. It's vertical and kind of narrow. It almost looks like an Alexa, and knowing Microsoft, I would not be surprised if they tried to use this thing in the same way that they're using all these other digital assistants so that they can steal all your information, collect all your conversations, and let's not talk about that because that'll just depress me. So the Game Awards were kind of interesting in the fact that the Game of the Year this year was Sekiro. Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. The fact that it's not some major AAA game like Call of Duty or Battlefield or something like that really gives me a little bit of hope. Now, I don't really trust these award shows. They're usually just some kind of big dog and pony show that really doesn't mean anything, and it really doesn't represent what gamers actually enjoy. But I do appreciate the fact that something from From Software actually won Game of the Year. That's a pretty big deal, because From Software, while they do have plenty of money and plenty of fans, they're not the biggest studio, I guess you could say, and they're certainly not as recognized in America as they should be. Though, of course, there are plenty of Souls fans who absolutely love the Souls games and all the other stuff that they make, so good on you guys. It also won the Best Action Adventure Game. Now, the best action game went to Devil May Cry 5, and the best score as well as the best direction went to Death Stranding of all things, and everybody thought that was going to win Game of the Year, but geez, that would have just been a huge misrepresentation of what that game is and whether or not people enjoy it, so... Now, best strategy game and even the Player's Choice Award went to Fire Emblem, so that's pretty cool. They won 2 awards, one of which I think is the most important, being that it was the Player's Choice, so good on Fire Emblem. Studio Colorido, which is famous for a couple different anime things, such as Penguin Highway, which I will remind you is an amazing movie, is actually going to be making some Pokemon shorts. Yeah, it would seem that they're going to air specifically online only. They're going to start on YouTube in January, and thus every month after, there will be 1 episode released per month. There's going to be 7 of these, and they're all going to be 5 minutes long apiece, and it's all going to take place in the world of Sword and Shield. So, yeah, some new Pokemon stuff, sort of like the stuff they did some time ago with Pokemon Generations, I think it was called. So yeah, it's something like that. And it looks interesting. Well, it sounds interesting. We don't really have anything to look at other than a key visual. But still, I'm excited to see more Pokemon anime, even if it's something as simple and obscure as just quick 7-minute shorts, or 5-minute shorts, rather. Seems pretty cool. It's going to be called Pokemon Hakume no Tsubasa, which basically means Pokemon Twilight Wings. It's an interesting title. No More Heroes 3 finally got another trailer, of which was this really weird anime trailer. It's a bit long, and it's very cheesy and kind of awkwardly animated, but I think that's part of the charm of it, because No More Heroes is supposed to be kind of cheesy and over the top, but I'm sure everybody's excited nonetheless, because people seem to love that series, so I guess that's cool. Anime tourism is an actual thing, and I know that that sounds weird, but it's something that people go to Japan for, or people that are in Japan potentially travel around for. I'll explain. Basically, there are places that of course are featured in anime, of which people like to go to, and thus one series that attracts plenty of people to Japan is Love Live. Now, Shizuoka specifically hosts quite a few areas that are featured in Love Live, especially a place called Numazu City. Now, within 2 years of the anime's release, there has been an increase of 600,000 visitors to this particular area in Japan. Now, that's a huge bump. I don't think it's primarily for the Love Live featuring, but I'm sure that plenty of people are visiting there for that reason. So many so that there have been problems with the locals. Some people have reported that the local middle school that is featured in Love Live has had to put up signs saying that if your kids don't go here, or if you're not a student here, or if you're not a worker here, then don't come in, because people were trespassing and taking photos in a school of all places, which is just a little bit creepy. Additionally, a local shop that's featured in the show has also had a huge issue with so many visitors getting there that there's no parking for pretty much anywhere nearby. So much so that there has been basically no parking for multiple areas nearby, because they're all trying to visit this place and take pictures of it. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you that a lot of people that are going to these places may just be visiting and not exactly buying anything, which makes it even worse. If there's a ton of people in your shop and nobody's buying anything, then that kind of hurts your bottom line. There were even special manhole covers, which is kind of like a weird thing that Japan likes to do, that have been vandalized because I guess they were Love Live and people were so into it that maybe, I don't know, they were trying to steal it or graffiti on it, who knows. But either way, they had to put up surveillance to guard these things because it was causing a problem for the city. Long story short, if you're going to Japan, respect the country. I know that as a foreigner who has visited Japan a couple times, I really don't have much place to say because I went there and I was kind of an outward force coming in, I guess. But still, I remained as respectful as possible. Don't go around making things worse for people. There's a certain level of social acceptance to walking around with cameras, and in Japan, there is a very fine line. A lot of places will actually hold their hands up in an X at you because they don't want you to take photos. Be mindful of that. Do not ruin their culture, do not ruin their areas, and make things worse for the people living there, because it just makes you, as a foreigner, look like a jerk. So, just be mindful of that. That went a little long, so let's keep moving. There's going to be a new Beyblade Series in 2020, and that's pretty amazing because I used to be into Beyblades as a kid. This is part of the Beyblade Burst series. I'm not quite sure of any other details other than that. There really hasn't been much revealed but a visual with a bunch of silhouettes of the characters. But yeah, man, Beyblade is still going in 2020. That's insane. I remember in middle school being super into playing with those tops. And I gotta say, I was pretty darn good with mine. I had Galleon Attacker, and that thing was a beast. So yeah, get at me. There's a new trailer for Persona 5 Scramble, which features Haru Okumura, which is awesome because she actually looks really fun to play. Yeah, in the trailer, she's going around with her persona and dispatching of plenty of enemies with its chain guns, as well as attacking them and whipping their booties with her axe. And I gotta say, she actually looks a little bit different, just the slightest bit different. I know she probably isn't, but her animations are rather unique for one of these characters, and yeah, I don't know, she just looks like she's fun to play. So I'm excited to see this game coming out. It seems like it's going to be pretty cool. There's going to be plenty of characters in it, and they all seem just a tiny bit different, but they're probably all going to play like button mashers. But either way, I'm excited, and I'm only still talking because I wanted to show you more of this video. Haru is adorable, so let's get that going. And yeah, Noir, that's her name. She's a beast, so watch your back. The first new animated Pokemon movie in over 2 years will be coming out in the next year. July 10th is going to be release date, and the only thing we know is it's called Gekijoban Pocket Monsters, of course, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not going to be a remake of anything like the Mewtwo movie, it's not going to be a live-action movie like Detective Pikachu, nothing like that. It's going to be its own anime movie, original, so that's cool because the Pokemon movies always seem to do pretty well, and yeah, we gotta love Pokemon and keep that going. Another really weird thing is that they're adding Seth into Street Fighter V. You may not be aware, but Seth was a character in Street Fighter IV. He was actually the final boss character, typically, and he was super overpowered and really annoying to fight in story mode, but he was a pretty unique character. I don't think that many people were that into Seth. I could be wrong about that. But I always thought he was kind of interesting, and he actually looks pretty cool in Street Fighter V. So much so that they actually gave him an additional feminine form. So he has his regular bald guy form with the yin-yang in his belly, but he's also got this really interesting, like, girl form that's kind of hard to explain other than, yeah, it's girl Seth, and she has hair versus being bald. But I don't know if it's still going to talk with regular male Seth's voice. That would be a little strange, but Rule 63, right? Come on. I think that's pretty cool. This is actually part of them releasing this Champion Edition. It's going to have all these DLC characters and costumes and stages and all that. So the more, the better. I welcome Seth because he looks pretty unique. He's bringing that inky aesthetic that they had from Street Fighter 4, which is actually nice because I really enjoyed 4 when it came out. I was actually working at GameStop when it did. And yeah, 4 was awesome. So him bringing that aesthetic over is a nice callback. And I'm interested to see female Seth, so what are we gonna call her? Sethina. Finally, Pokemon Go is adding more buddy functionality to the game. If you're not familiar, you can get a buddy Pokemon. You can designate any Pokemon to be your buddy, and it will follow you in the way that as you walk in the game, every couple kilometers or whatever will gain you Pokemon candies to level up and evolve that Pokemon. Now, it would seem that they're going to add features to basically increase the mood of that Pokemon. So I'm assuming walking with it, battling with it, petting it, feeding it, all these things that remind me of like the Pokemon Ami features from Pokemon X and Y. I think those were introduced in. It's all that kind of stuff, and it's going to make your Pokemon happier. And of course, the happier you make your Pokemon, the better the rewards you get are. So that's pretty cool. And the advertisement for it was actually incredibly heartwarming. If you watch this, watch it with the sound on. It's a cover of You're My Best Friend by Queen. And oh my God, it seriously tugged at my heartstrings. It's this kid with a Pokemon doll, and he's obsessed with it. He loves it. He gets it as a present, and he feeds the thing himself, watches it as he has to clean it because he got a bunch of crap on its face. And as he grows up, he is just attached to this thing. And it just really reminded me of how special Pokemon was to us as children. I mean, me especially. I grew up with Pokemon just in the same way as this child did with this doll. And I had Pokemon dolls, and I would keep them in my bed with me. A Charmander actually was typically the main doll of choice. I had so much Pokemon stuff and I was obsessed, and it really was something that kind of nurtured me and helped raise me. I loved Pokemon and I still do, and I always will. And an ad like this, it got a tear to come down my cheek. So definitely check it out. I'm excited for more buddy functionality, but man, this commercial, it grabbed me right here.
I'll be here for you, Kingu.
Oh, thank you, little dear. Dear Coon. And that, my friends, is everything for Weeaboo Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you did like the video, or even if you hated the video, why don't you go ahead and like it below, because it helps the channel and it helps me feel better about making these for you guys. Why don't you comment as well? What was your favorite story? What was the most interesting to you? Go ahead and comment below, and I will typically talk back to you, so let's do it. Additionally, if you want to subscribe to the channel, I make these videos every week, as well as figure reviews and motivational Monday videos, where I try to motivate you every Monday. So get into that. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. Just so you know, I am working on some Japan videos, so the next thing to come out is going to be about the Pokemon Cafe, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. If you want to watch another video, I'm going to link it right here, and if you click it, it does help the channel, so please make sure to do that. I will love you oh so much for doing it. Even if you've seen it, go ahead and click it. And until the next time I see you,
I'm a little deer and I'm gonna do a dance. Look at me go. I've got antlers. Ants. Whee!